Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Let me tell you about a coastal city I visited a few years ago. The locals knew the rainy season well. It was as much a part of life as the markets and the fishing boats. But one year the rain didn't stop when it should have, and rivers swelled, drains backed up, and the streets turned into rivers. Businesses, shut down for days. Some never reopened. And when I spoke with one shop owner, she said, "We always thought we had time. We never thought it would happen this soon." And that, my friend, is a problem with disaster preparedness. People often realize the need only after it's too late. So welcome to another episode of Flood Protection Secrets. And I want to focus today on October 13. Every year on October 13, the United Nations marks the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. It's not just another date on the calendar. It's a global reminder that preparation saves lives, livelihoods, and communities. And when it comes to floods, being prepared is more than sandbags and hope. It means choosing solutions that are proven, reliable, and ready when you need them. And over the past episodes, we have talked about exactly that, the proven strengths of in our case, RSD mountable flood barriers. So the proven strengths of flood barriers. And here are the key takeaways again. These are 5. So the first, proven German engineering, built for climate change, designed to last 100 years with over 68,000 installations in 37 countries. You're investing in peace of mind for decades. Why do I mention it? It is not only advertisement. It is to tell you that something you invest in, especially for your own safety and to secure your investment as well, that should be reliable. You will not invest in a car without airbags. Most probably, when you want to participate at the Formula One race or whatever, I don't even know whether the Formula One racing cars have airbags. But you know what I mean. I talk about the safety features. So number 1 key array is a proven German engineering. Number 2 is a certified safety and reliability. FM ANSI Class 2510. Certified and annually audited by FM Global. That is what we do. For the Stepanek KG in Germany, they are inspected and audited every year by the representatives and the auditors from FM Global, from FM Approval. They have an own section for that, and as well. And the same happens for Flood Control Asia IS Corporation. So that's my company with the headquarters for the Asian-wide activities based in the Philippines. And they are auditors. Normally they're always coming in November. So they fly in, they audit the whole manufacturing process, they check all the documentations, So you cannot cheat on what you are doing. And that is a proof that we follow the standards, and the standards they have set up. And FM Global has set up the strongest standards for flood protection in the whole world. And that's, by the way, the only insurance company. I don't know any other. Even all the German insurance companies, they don't do. I don't know, perhaps they don't care. But anyway, FM Global is the only one. And that is why this FM ANSI Class 2510 certified flood barrier is so important, because that gives you the guarantee that the barrier will perform under extreme conditions. And number three, the takeaway number three is a robust construction and at the same time lightweight handling. Marine grade aluminum, friction welded anchoring, and just 7 kilogram per meter. Strong enough for major floods, but light enough to install quickly without trenches. Without trenches, that is something what I discussed during the last episodes. There are really barriers on the market, and they tell you, you just have to provide a small trench in your foundation, then we insert the barriers. That will not work. First, it's questionable regarding the stability. The second is that the ceiling is not 100%. And third is that when the barriers are not in use, you have a small trench, and that will be filled with sand, with insects, with plastic, and it can serve as nests for mosquitoes in mosquito countries. So that is not the state of the art, and these barriers are never approved by such an insurance body like FM Global. They would not pass the test. So robust construction, lightweight handling, and the key takeaway number 4 is the anti-theft and fast setup. So heavy-duty clamps and padlock systems, quick, secure, and tamper-resistant. That is something also what sometimes people do not consider, that there is a protection. Especially for a homeowner. Imagine you install your flood barriers, and then during the night your neighbor is manipulating your installation because he was jealous or is jealous. Or there are competitors who want to do something strange to you. Or there are simply thefts who say, oh, that is good, this aluminium I will steal, has a value. I make a table out of that, out of this flood barrier. Then they can take it. It is not possible if you have a padlock system. That is what we, of course, provide. And the heavy-duty clamps to compress the base seal, the sealing system. It's not only a base seal. There are intermediate bead seals in between the different beams of the barriers, the stacked barriers, and also a vertical sealing system inside the side channels or possible middle supports. So that is important that you compress the system, compress the rubber, the EPDM soft rubber, and that is what we do and what is state of the art with one clamp. It is one heavy duty clamp at the left side of the installation and at the right side of the installation. And in case of middle support, at the middle support as well. But not these knobs that you have installed at all 200 millimeters. That is very tiny material. If you ever have seen it, it's very tiny. And we install, I observed one installation in a basement in the Philippines, and that was years ago. And one of these knobs was already broken. So this tiny screw was broken. And it is so tiny. If there's floating debris or somebody is just touching it with a car or with a tool or whatever it is, it will break very easily. And then you cannot compress your barrier anymore, or you cannot remove it anymore. That is impossible if you have heavy duty clamps from the top. That is what we are doing. And they have an M16 thread that is a little bit different to an M6 as an example. M6 screw. Yes, and the key takeaway number 5 is a globally approved and recognized flood barrier, like when governments are trusting it, industries and communities across all continents, including official DPWH approval in the Philippines. That especially for the Philippines. DPWH is a department for works and highways, and And there's, of course, we did a special approval years ago for almost all our barriers. We have 14 different types of flood barriers, from demountable flood barriers, flood gates, flood doors, automatic systems, dropping down, flipping up, sliding, pivoting, and permanent glass paneled flood barriers. So that is an additional approval from this government. So all these things increase the trust, and that is what you as an investor in flood protection technology should consider. But we want to talk about the preparedness. These were the key takeaways from the previous episodes about demountable flood barriers, and today we want to focus on the preparedness. And preparedness isn't about guessing. It's about proven systems, and these proven systems that have already faced the toughest conditions worldwide and delivered results. That is why I have repeated these 5 key takeaways before. And the October 13, that is celebrated or highlighted by the United Nations. So it's every year, October 13. That is a reminder. And that's my golden nugget, by the way, for today already. Yeah? For all those who stay until now, they know it already. Most of the time, there's a golden nugget that Andreas Klippe is sharing with all of you. So October 13 is a reminder, but the real test is what you do before the next flood. Proven protection is never an expense. It's an investment that pays for itself the first time it's needed. Quite often, we are called by procurement departments, and the only thing they're interested in is a low price. They even don't ask a technical question very often. I'm very surprised how a company can put all the responsibility about the safety of the whole factory, about the whole hotel, in the hands of a procurement officer. And that is even not the boss of the procurement. That is just an officer who is working for the procurement. And these guys very often, especially at other parts in the world, in the third world countries, they're only interested to produce paper. They never ask questions about safety, about handling, about maintenance, about training. One small episode at the end of this flood protection secret episode today is one small story. Is that during this week, when I'm recording it today, during this week, my head of technology was called by 2 customers in the Philippines and in Metro Manila. And they wanted to have, to get the maintenance. And then we asked, okay, that is great. What exactly happens? And then we realized the base seal of the middle support was damaged. Why? It was not the fact that the material was damaged or something's wrong with the material, something's wrong with the construction. No. The handling was done in the wrong way. The people pulled the middle support with a base seal over the asphalt, over curbstones, and then don't wonder if a rubber seal at the bottom will get away, will be damaged. So that is why we offer normally vertical component carriers, so trolleys that you know from gas bottles, from these industrial gas bottles, and to carry it properly. Then the second customer who called us for repair and for maintenance, we observed that the base seal of a flood protection barrier was completely damaged. And the reason was easy. One of the yayas, so the Filipinos will know when I talk about yayas. Yayas are the ladies, the women who work in a household and take care about everything. And they handled it in the wrong way, and they stored it on the storage racks with a base seal at the bottom. Of course, that the base seal will be damaged. It's a soft rubber. It's not made for that, to put it on on a railing or on a small piece of metal at the left and the right side. So of course you must store it upside down. That is very easy. That is not difficult to know, but these people didn't know. And then what happens is, in case of installation, you will get leaks, serious leaks. And that is why this October 13 is a reminder to be protected, and that is why one of the that was this lady where what I mentioned before. Of course, I don't share any name. I don't want to blame anybody because that can happen. That can happen, and she signed a maintenance and training contract for 3 years already. So that means we know already next year, it's put in the calendar already. We will go there again and check it. Another customer has just signed a contract for 2 annual inspections. So before the rainy season and in the middle of the rainy season. Because very often the people who are responsible for the operation of flood barriers, they change. That might be a nephew, a brother, an uncle, a yaya in the Philippines, or a helper, a worker, an employee, whoever. They come and they go. That is in companies when we do a training we call it the RS Flood Marshal training. There's a new marshal in town. A flood marshal. So, and that comes with education, that comes with a test, and that comes with a certificate, with a photo of the person and the name of the person. And that will allow the management to identify the responsible people, not only the management, everybody in the company, because they know, that is the flood marshal. The same with, that is a fireman, that is a doctor. So you must appoint the responsibility to a person and then educate the person. Of course, a doctor is educated, a fireman is educated, a flood marshal should be educated. And that is why I always repeat saying hearing my own voice by when I say flood protection is not a supply only, it is an art. And it comes with annual maintenance. It comes with annual refresher training that the flood barrier installation will do the job and protect you as best as it can. Yes. So it's an investment that pays for itself the first time it's needed. That was the last sentence of my golden nugget. And so here's my challenge to you today, because we talk about the October 13. Before the day ends, take one concrete step toward your flood protection. Step 1, make a call to your supplier. Second, request that site survey. And third, get the quote. Do something today that your future self will thank you for when the rain comes. Waiting costs more in money, time, and peace of mind. That is what I wanted to share with you today. The United Nations Disaster Preparedness Day, October 13, every year, this year, the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and the next year. And even in 100 years, most probably, there will be an October 13 UN Disaster Preparedness Day. So I hope it could encourage you to do something for your safety, for the safety of your investment, for the safety of the people you are responsible for. Do something today that your future self will thank you for when the rain comes. Waiting costs more in money, time, and peace of mind. Yes, don't wait for the first flood to teach you the cost of inaction. Prepare now with the right solution. Stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with a new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts. preparedness.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe, flood protection secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.